Oops. New things here. There. Okay, so here we are. So welcome Clinic Day.
Clinic day.
Yes. Okay. We got our gyno clinic going on today, so that's pretty exciting. And let's start the day off with Qigong with John. So,
Yeah, let's get ourselves all warmed up energetically and ready to go. So let's
yep.
find our Wuji posture. Good. Feeling that nice foundation. Feet on the floor. And let's soak in a little bit more earth chi. Let's breathe that in. Letting ourselves really arrive more fully into this moment. Inhale, exhale. Like earth energy coming up through all the way through the bottom of the feet, all the way to the crown of your head, and then reconnecting with earth to strengthen those roots beneath your feet. So we pull it up, receive that gift, and then push it back down to strengthen our roots. One more time. Good. And then just feel that connection. And let's gather some more with pulling down the heavens. Let's breathe in, gather earth, nature, and let's also ask the beautiful energies of the divine. Let's wash that down. Adding them to this beautiful earth energy as we wash down the front and into the earth. And again, earth, nature, beautiful heavenly energies, and washing down the back. All the way down the spine, saying hello to the back of the body. One more time. Here we go. Right through the crown. Getting a sense of all this nurturing, nourishing energy, loving energy going through your body all the way down to your feet. And let's come down to our toes and let's do a little bit of channel dredging. Let's inhale, come up. Underside of the arms and actually we should go up. I'm sorry. We'll do that next time. And we'll come all the way up the arms, focusing on the yang channels, and go down all the way to your feet. All right, say hello to those yin channels, up the inner legs, front of the torso, underside of the arms, and this time let's go up. Good. And then, like a tree, and then we'll gather the energy that might be blocking the yang channels all the way down to your feet. Couple more times. Coming up. And gathering, getting a sense of opening more flow. And one more. And focusing on the backs of the arms, side of the head, back of the head and neck, all the way down the legs to the little toe. And then rolling up the spine as we come back. Good. Let your feet come closer together. Let's do a little bit of dropping post. And breathe. Ah, nice round of just letting go, just let any tension go. Let it drain all the way down out of the body. As we relax and bounce. Really honoring your chi by saying, this is the stuff I want to work with. This is the stuff that I don't need right now, so we can let it go. Good. And one more big breath. And then pause. Good. Let's step out. And let's do a little bit of trembling horse. Take the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, and shake it all the way down the body. Inhale. Good. And pause. Feel the energy vibrating in your body. And let's bring our focus to our yang organs and let's do a little bit of 5 yang. Let's pull in that chi and give it a little spin here. Activate that chi in the lower orbit there, lower danchen. Breathe in and then give it a spin. Let your awareness be in the lower danchen. Pulling it in, activating the chi. Remembering it's that beating and drumming of the energy, beating and drumming of the chi. Good. Let's do 5 more. Good. And then coming back down and just have a moment to breathe and do it in your mind. Breathe in and then give it a spin. Let's get a sense of the chi moving in the lower danchen with more efficiency, more efficient movement of chi. Good. And then let's lift our arms and let's breathe in. Help the lungs. Exhale. Smile to your lungs. Filling up, dropping it deeper. Just smile as we fill up the lungs. Breathe in and out. Let's do that one more time. And then bring your hands close to you as if you're dropping along the outside of a ball, back down towards the thighs. Take your right heel out. Create a wider stance. Bring that left hand behind you, right hand in front. Let's say hello to that right kidney. Let's go down and scoop up some water and fill up. Exhale. Bring that nice rotation. Little shift of weight to help pump those more chi up through bubbling springs. Get a sense of recharge in the kidneys here. Smile. Get a sense of that energy going down that right arm, all the way across the backs of shoulders, into that. Down the left arm and filling that right kidney one more time. And breathe in and then slowly transition and let's say hello to the left kidney. And let's gather. Scooping up our water, breathing it in. More harmonizing into that beautiful left kidney. As you shift your weight, you're also adding from bubbling spring. Couple more times. Good. A little rub of the lower back as your feet come closer together. Good. Extend the right arm. And let's say hello to the liver. We'll do the original form with 3 breaths. 3 breaths in, 3 breaths out. Smiling to the liver. Get a sense of that energy pumping up through the liver channel to help support the flow of the liver and any toxicity going down the gallbladder channels to release. Good. One more time. Take your left hand and put it over your right hand. Take your breath in and let's exhale and help the heart. Inhale, exhale. Smiling to the heart, smiling to your Shen, inviting it to be fully present for this, for you, and for the sessions. Good. Inhale, exhale to the side. And let's do one more. One more to your right. One more to your left. And come back to the center and just pause and place a little energy in your heart. Smile to your heart. Just have a moment to be with the heart. And then let the hands come down and let's say hello to the spleen. Inhale, let's lift up. Make an outline of the earth. Bring that energy down through the midline. Flick your fingers to release the charge and then make our mudra with thumbs and index fingers. Bring that up. Exhale as we go to the right. Inhale. Exhale to the left. More earth energy flowing through you. Get a sense of that going up the spleen channel and then down the stomach channel. Good. One more to your right. One more to your left. Breathe in and then bring it back down through the center. And let's pause at the navel. Let's get a sense of that chi, the extra energy from all the organs settling here in the Danchen, forming into a beautiful pearl of light. Get a sense of that pearl dropping down to your pelvic floor, and let's do our Guangdong stroke spirit. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's open up that microcosmic orbit a little bit more. Couple more. And then coming back to the navel. Pause and breathe, let it settle here. Good. Then I'm going to invite you to slowly move so that you face the direction of the south. Wherever that is for you. For me, it's facing this way. And just having a moment to face the south in your Wuji posture. And then bring your awareness above your head. Visualize a beautiful golden ball of light, warm and radiant. And feel it melt down over the front of your body like warm oil, down over the face, the throat, down over the chest, all the way from the inner arms, from the armpits, all the way down across the palms, dripping off the fingers. Beautiful energy flowing down over the chest, over the abdomen, over the pelvis and the legs, flowing all the way down to your feet. See that golden light above your head also beginning to shine down the back of the body, back of the head, neck, shoulders, all the way down the backs of the arms, to the fingernails, down over the upper back, mid back, lower back, down over the buttocks, backs of the legs, all the way down across the bottoms of the feet, dripping off the toes. And see this golden light as we open the crown like a beautiful funnel right above the head, funneling that energy in and let it fill the left hemisphere of the brain and then the right, all the glands of the brain, filling all the sense organs as it flow down through the mouth, the teeth, the tongue, all the way through the throat, down into the chest, down your arms, dripping down into the fingers. Feel this beautiful, loving light begin to fill all your organs, all the yang organs, all the yin organs. See this light saturating them and bringing more vitality. See it also flowing into the nerves and the tendons, the flesh and the muscles. Get a sense of it flowing through the blood, deep into the bones and the bone marrow, and all the way out to the skin. Feel this energy beginning to flow down through the legs, through the feet. Get a sense of the feet melting and roots forming and flowing down, all the way down into the earth through the earthly transpersonal points, connecting with the sacredness of this beautiful planet. feel the earth respond by sending up beautiful golden light. That golden light begins to flow up through those roots and begins to fill you up like a container being filled with this chi, and it just flows up and fills the legs, the feet and the legs, up through the pelvis, up through the center of the body, filling you up with this earthly light all the way up through the neck, through the head, and all the way down the arms to the fingers. Feel yourself saturated in this loving light from the earth. And then bring your awareness up above you and going up through the heavenly transpersonal points towards the energy, the sacredness of the Tao, the unconditional love, and feel the Tao respond by sending back a beautiful beam of white light flowing down, filling the upper, middle, and lower danchens with healing energy, coalescing and filling the Taiji pole, creating this center core of light, warm and vibrant, supporting the beauty that is your soul, that is your most base essence, the energies that are always there, the eternal energies. And feel that becoming so strong, and then it bursts out and begins to fill the body to join the energy from the earth, filling the whole body with earth and heavenly chi, and then bursting out, filling that first, second, and third field of Wei Qi with all this vibrancy. And then have a moment, become aware of the Taiji pole once again, and how this is flowing and vibrating within the center. And bring your awareness from there down to the earth one more time, but this time focusing on the earth element. The beautiful energy of your yi, the power of your intention. And get a sense of that beginning to flow up like a golden mist, flowing up from the earth through your feet, beginning to dance and synergize around the Taiji pole, flowing in the center of your body, full of the energies and virtues of trust and truth, honesty and faith. All this connectedness with the vibrancy of the earth element. And then see a portal opening in the breastbone and red steam beginning to flow out. And as it does, it forms into a red phoenix out in front of you. This is the spirit of your Shen. I invite you to send that red phoenix off to the south, to the direction of the fire element. And feel the south responding by sending back this enormous red phoenix protecting your front, full of peace and love and the energy of divine order. Good. And then bring your awareness from there to Ming Men, to between the kidneys, lower back. Imagine another portal opening here and a beautiful blue-black steam flowing out behind you, forming into a blue-black tortoise and snake with the spirit of your Zhe, your will. And send this tortoise and snake to the north, to the direction of the water element. And notice how the north responds by sending back this enormous tortoise and snake protecting your back. All the energy of your ancestors that have your back, all those that came before you, supporting you. Full of Jing, your essence. And the virtues of wisdom, self-understanding, and clear, rational thinking. And then moving your focus slowly over to your right side. Imagining another portal opening under your ribs and a white steam beginning to flow out and form into a white tiger. Beautiful, strong as steel tiger. This is the spirit of your Po, guide that helps you in the your earthbound existence. And I invite you to send that tiger to the west, to the direction of the metal element. And notice how the west responds by sending back this enormous white tiger protecting your right side, full of the virtues of integrity and courage and dignity. And then slowly shifting your awareness to your left side. And imagine a portal opening under the ribs on this side and a green steam beginning to flow out, forming into a green dragon. With the spirit of your Hun. And let's send the green dragon to the east, to the direction of the wood element. And notice the east responding by sending back this enormous green dragon, protecting your left side, full of compassion and loving kindness. Just become aware of all these beautiful animals around you, the fire phoenix out in front of you, the green dragon on your left, blue-black tortoise and snake protecting your back, and the white tiger on the right. And let's see them begin to move. Front to the left, to the back, to the right, counterclockwise. Front, left, back, right. Beginning to pick up speed, going faster as they stalk and protect each other's positions, getting faster and faster, and faster still, until they create a rainbow ball of light within your Wei Qi field. A solid protective field of energy with all the elements, all the virtues, all the animals. Good. And then bring your awareness back to your crown as we slowly begin to invite all those colors back into the organs. See the colors, the white color coming back in to charge up and support your lungs. See the red and any pink color coming in to help your heart. See the green color coming back in to help your liver. See the blue and the black color coming in to charge up those kidneys. See the golden color within you going back into the spleen and the pancreas. And see those organs filling with color until they're completely saturated and it bursts out beyond the organs, filling the whole body in the beautiful, luminous, effervescent light, filling up the whole body, through your cells, through your tissues, to the deepest parts of your body, from the bottom of the feet to the top of the head, to the tips of your fingers. And see that becoming so vibrant, so supportive, that it bursts out, filling the bubble created by the animal's rotation to also charge up and support your Wei Qi fields. About 2 meters, 6 feet in all directions, a nice solid field of protection. And then bring your awareness above your head to the divine, to the heavens, and the energies of the Big Dipper and the North Star, all the stars. And feel them shining their light down upon you, adding their beautiful energies to this beautiful soaking in of this divine extra energy coming in to solidify this even more, create even more vibrancy for you. And breathe. And then slowly bring one hand on top of the other to the navel. Run your microcosmic orbit. And then lock this energy in with 9 rotations in one direction. And do it again 9 more times in the other. Feel free to bring your feet a little bit closer together and rub your hands. Bring them over your eyes, over your glasses, soak that in. A little wash in the face, up the center, down over the ears. Tap the forehead, crown of the head, side of the head, back of the neck, and down the arm, back, across to the other side. Tap the heart and lungs, underarms, sides of the body. Make a little circle around your digestive tract. Come to the sea of chi beneath the navel. Come around and say hello to the kidneys. And then a little tap down the legs. Around the feet and toes, up the inside. Tap here at leg gates. Stimulate our sea of chi one more time. And just have a moment just to feel your energy. Feel what a powerful being you are. How you're connected and you have all these animals watching over you to support you. Let's take this beautiful energy and let's have a wonderful clinic. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. So, students, rooms are opening. You can consult with your partners and lovely volunteers who are here. Thank you for being here. And they're just going to be, as you know, some of you know from clinics, they're just going to be consulting with each other for until 9:45. So and then we will put you in the room so you can kind of relax until then.
I'm going to pause our recording, Wendy.
Let's see. Okay. Welcome back. Good job, everyone. So we're going to have about 10 minutes each. So that's the maximum. But that's how the day works out. So who would like to go first and put your hand up and if you're ready to share? Yay. Okay. Okay, John.
And your partner was
Jennifer.
Stephanie.
No, Stephanie. Right. Okay.
Find her. Oop, she's not, doesn't have her video on. I can't bring her on yet.
Okay. But anyway, you can start.
So our client's name was, I'm kidding.
Right. There we go.
Yeah, so our client was 53 years old. She had indicated the menopause, menstrual issues, weight gain, and restless sleep. This had been occurring for 2 years. She's also type 1 diabetic. When we talked to her um, in person, she was actually saying her cycle is actually still occurring, really regular, though it lasted for 7 days. So she had kind of a long duration menstrual cycle or period. And yeah, the diabetes tended to be a little bit more of a thing with just the energy levels in her system. And when we did or when I did the three circles, I noticed the first circle, I noticed a lot of fatigue in that place. And then the second one, I noticed um, kind of like not like a sorrow, but just like a heaviness, like a not like something not being expressed. And when I did the third circle, it led into this kind of creativity, this need for this creativity to flow. Um, and then I'm curious on should I share my full thing and then Steph, or how do you want us to kind of go back
Well,
and
it's kind of up to you. Is there anything you'd like to add at this point,
yeah,
Stephanie?
I thought it'd be a good point to
Yeah, it's good to go back and forth. Yeah.
Yes, John, you already introduced who we were working with. Yeah, so I also did the 3 magic circles this morning, and I didn't get so much information, but in the end, it kind of made sense. So it was about, the space that she had, a lot of space, and about a new beginning, which I didn't know was related. I suppose it was related to the menopause part, but it was not. Um, so yeah, um, that's that's that. Did you
yeah.
say anything else, Jonathan? Sorry, I was
No, I think
listening, but then.
that was kind of a good point. And then we both went into kind of the general treatment protocol and then kind of just let our kind of guides kind of lead um where we might need to spend more time and what to do in those spots. I had noticed um just working at the bottoms of the feet, just how the energy was moving. It wasn't so much balance from one side to the left. There's a lot of interesting it was almost, and actually this was more of a question I had is I almost noticed like going up the left leg that the energy wanted to go up the left on the outside and then down the inside. And it was almost like this, almost like moving in a reverse kind of style instead of up the inside of the leg and down. What was interesting was when I spent a lot of time working with that, the client felt this like release in her hip, which then also led to this like energy in her heart feeling more calm, which was really interesting when we kind of talked about that. But I'm kind of jumping around with all the protocol. But I went through all the kind of just the general protocol. I reflected a lot back to her that seemed to be really on point. I spent a lot of time with the spleen, pancreas, and stomach, just an indication of that type 1 diabetes. And so did the healing sounds with that. And what was interesting was one of the things that was interesting was when I shared about the kidney stuff and just working with the energetic channels, the kidneys, I got a strong sense of supplements and to be really cautious with creatine and to be really mindful of that. And then she was like, this is crazy because she was like, I was just taking creatine and I was thinking I shouldn't be taking this. And I was like, oh, interesting how that kind of came up. So we had a lot of those kind of auspicious moments in the shares just around that, but I don't know if I want to take up too much time going into that. And then for the homework that I kind of gave, I went with um, the yin deficient walking meditation, where it was really bringing that energy into that lower Dan 10 and then working, you know, walking with the right foot first with toes down and then heels. She has a big property and she's building like a spa. And so kind of was like, get out in nature because I got a lot of that spleen, that earth, and to just kind of be more in the earth, as well as this kind of overarching piece of um, getting more into that trust and faith and trying new things and getting that more creativeness coming out. And had found out that she had recently sold her catering business and then was looking into this place of just having this openness and looking into what kind of creative things she could be doing. So I'll pass it off to Stephanie to share from there.
Yeah, so I did a mix of general treatment protocol and the yin deficient protocol, according to what I found. And I was focused a lot on the kidneys, a bit like Jonathan, kidneys, spleen, and heart. A little bit the liver as well. Overall, she had a good overall health. At least that was my impression. Um, yeah, Jonathan, you didn't know that, but when you asked for the sound for the spleen, I was actually putting a sponge, and I was like, oh my God, it's such a good timing because the sponge was coming out with the sound, so it was really nice.
Oh, it was so funny, just to interject. I totally forgot to purge the spleen and I went right to going into sound. And as I was about to do that, I was like, wait a sec. And then I was like, no, keep going. So interesting that you had done. We just found that out right now. So thank you for that share, Steph.
And yeah, so that's what did I do? Yeah, I did some in the Magic Gloves. I was working on the digestive system overall and on the heart. I also did some the heart sound on the emotion level for the heart. That was what came, and that's it. Yeah, on the prescription, I offered two things. Um, One was just a breathing, abdominal breathing with hands on the lower ribs, because I thought that she's quite an active person and also quite a giving person. So just to keep it simple and focused, I thought that it would be, it brings some lightness and she would be able to be focused on one thing and it would help the spleen, and the heart, actually. And then the second exercise was the three sources breathing to harmonize heart and kidney on different levels. So yeah, I mean, it was not so crazy as Jonathan. Jonathan got so many interesting things. But yeah, it was a good time.
Well, you're muted,
Wendy,
Wendy.
you muted.
Just saying, I think she had a really wonderful experience with you. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
you might have a new student signing up. She was very
Love that.
Well, we
Okay.
can.
we can talk about the commission structure later, but
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you, you guys. Perfect timing. That's 10
Okay.
minutes. Perfect. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Who's ready
So
to?
I think I saw Yuko,
Julie's got her hand up.
but I
So,
had Yuko first before
oh, you
that.
goes first. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Yuko, and you were
Yuko and
with
Melanie.
Melanie.
Hmm.
Let's find Melanie. Where is she? There she is. Okay.
Okay,
There you go.
nice. Okay. Yeah, you got so they had the surprise.
They had the surprise client.
Yes. Sometimes someone doesn't show up, and fortunately we had someone back up who was
Yeah.
who was ready to come in, but of course it's a surprise. So how'd you do with your surprise person?
Yeah, I prepared all for the different person last night and
Yes.
prepared for kidney treatment, but today's client happened to be very different from that. But that was a pleasant surprise because she was very appreciative and compassionate person that seems like the three of us enjoyed being together in the space.
Mm.
Um, Yeah, that was very interesting because Melanie can share later, but she already sensed that the person who couldn't come
Then why would you pick
was
grape
difficult,
over something like strawberry banana?
difficult to
I
connect.
know, I had this in fucking banana burst up.
So like our case client is 58 years old woman with chronic pelvic pain and fibroids and recurrent endometriosis and other hormonal issues. And she had hysterectomy a while ago, or I don't know when it was. She had fibroids many times, so that uterus was taken out. And she had recurrent pelvic endometriosis. That's the most concern that is that she is in pain, the severe pain she has. She is very smiley and very soft-spoken person. It's very difficult to say she's in pain, but that was a very good clue that how much of the healing energy is needed for her. She has a lot of compassion towards others, and but I'm not sure she had that compassion toward her. Um,
Mm.
yeah, she is very knowledgeable person, like a PhD in nutrition and all that. So yeah, um, she had a lot to share with us about endometriosis. So that was very nice. Then I thought she talks a lot, right? So I thought that's one of the thing that she's not actually in tune with inside, but outside presentation is maybe what she was carrying the most. We did our endometriosis protocol. Melanie and I worked side by side, talking about the same protocols. I think I felt a lot of heat coming out with some of the time, like kidney energy emission through kidney one, especially. And yeah, a lot of stagnation. And she was having a lot of weight chi deficiency, maybe like the hands go into her body too quickly. She's very accepting all the energies to her.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I sense that a T field deficiency can be actually her endometriosis, I thought, might be from absorbing a lot from others. I didn't tell her that, but that might be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, the purging happened to be kind of like a short enough time we spent, but the tonification was the time I felt she needed the most.
Mm.
And master couple point therapy, I sensed that deviation from the throat around the throat area. But with connecting to point, it started to have more sense of regulation, harmonious energy flow. I think that, I don't know, like she had she saw purple and green energy during the treatment. And the green really suggested that the liver Qi stagnation really needed to be treated. So that my prescription for her was what was that? Guo sound to the liver, and also breathing deeply more safely, and whatever, so she can use more heat to break up the cold mass. Yeah. You think,
Okay.
yeah.
Melanie, what would you like to add your experience?
So yeah, it was very she was very accepting, and she was very open to the treatment. There was some stagnation, and but with some work together, with Yuko, we were able to open the channels. And uh, what I noticed, what she said was that she saw lots of greens and purples, like the Northern Lights, and she saw stars as well. And it was very felt very healing. And that she said there was a definite evident aspect of healing occurring, and she could feel the movement in her abdomen as we were working. One thing I'd like to add, though, is the way that we did the endometriosis protocol. So when we put the blue light or the blue from the earth into her kidneys and overflow to the five gates, it was just so empowering. And it was as if she needed more blue, dark blue, than light blue. And it just went in as a water for me. Like I just felt it go in, and I just got to feel it overflowing right away. And I just went and just flowed into the gates. And it was very nice. I could feel that I thought she really resonated with that. So one of my prescriptions for her, because we were surprised by her by the treatment, and I did do magic circles on her prior to or have any information. um I didn't actually read the prescriptions for the endometriosis, but I did tell her to imagine meditate standing in warm water and bringing in heat into her kidneys, and imagining it coming down, blue light coming down from the divine has heat as well, and lowered on chin, and just having her expand that out into her five gates. And I think she was doing it as I was telling her, and she really resonated with that. I don't know why I told her to do that, but I did.
Yeah, there you go.
And then because we ended with the microcosmic orbit, it was showing that it was outside of her spine. So I suggested her do the guang guang stroke beard. So I demonstrated that as well. And she actually asked about what the lights could possibly mean. And we just discussed, the heart is green, and harmony, peace, love, joy, divine boundary settings. And she said, yeah, she has some issues with boundaries. And she does give a lot of love, and she doesn't really give herself a lot of self-love. So, but she was very open and very honest and very giving, very receiving. She just was so thankful, so full of gratitude.
Mm.
It was a pleasure working with her and Yuko. As it
Yeah.
seemed like me and Yuko actually, whenever I felt something, like she felt the same thing as we were going through it.
Nice.
And
That's great.
yeah,
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, very good
Okay.
share. Thank you both.
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Looks like it's Julie and Celine.
Yes.
Did you find them?
Yeah, I'm trying to. They're moving around because they're
Yeah,
there and then they're not there.
I got Julie.
I got her.
Oh, okay, now we need to find Celine. Celine, for you. Did you find
There
Celine?
she is. I found her.
Okay.
There we go.
There.
Hello. That was nice. That was fun to work with Celine. And so we had a patient woman, 38 years old. And on her form, she mentioned some PMS, stress, sinuses issue due to mold, and headaches. And then during the treatment, she added that she suffered for many years as well, as the same as the lung issue, connected with the lung issue, chronic digestive issue with parasites she can't get rid of.
Mm.
So when we talked with her, she didn't really say much. I think she had this energy she wanted to receive. Basically, she was open to receive. She mentioned she's a Chinese medicine practitioner and it seems that she gives a lot, and so now she's open to receiving. So she didn't expand anymore, like so much on her symptoms. It was more like she wanted to be nourished and fed with energy. Which was nice because I'm very in my head if I have too much information, so it was really good for me. And as soon as I enter her field, I could have it was really nice because I had good senses of her energetical level and spiritual level. We could see with Celine, like we had the same feelings as well, that she had fear and grief. So which made her like this energy of contracted and small. But on the spiritual level, I saw that she was a person with really purpose, with high virtue, dignity and integrity, and really expanded person. Also, the color white came a lot for me. And we complemented each other because she had several things, because she was really depleted in her kidney. So Celine, she will mention what she did after. But I did the other part, which was I worked more on the lungs, the large intestine, and the digestion, which was nice as well because I usually don't work a lot on the lungs and on the metal element. I don't know. I'm not used to working on that. I work more with nutrition when I have digestive issues or this kind of thing. So it was nice to have another approach to it. And when I worked on her lungs, I felt a lot of grief, indeed, which appeared like a lack of protection from the outside, like boundary issues, a lack of discrimination in her relationship and in her body. That we can observe the parasite and also with her lung issues that she had since she was young. I felt a lot of coldness and damp as well. So I basically work on the lungs and the digestive system. But so I put some needles for her digestive system and for the spleen, stomach, and the large intestine. And I wanted to emit chi, but I realized it was not really working. And so I stayed present with her digestive system, and I felt like a flame just came, and that I needed to put a small fire in her lower abdomen to warm up the digestion and also the kidney. And then thanks to that, the meridian really light up. And with the magic glove was interesting. Something came as well. It was kind of like a nice clearing and tonification of the large intestine and the lung meridians, kind of like what we did with the yin and yang ascending, but I was doing that with the arms going up to the nose to really grab both meridians together and clear them. And finally, I spent some time grounding her in her kidney as well because I felt she was a bit out of her body. Her physical energy was low. And then she confirmed at the end that she was a bit dissociated, you know, sometimes living, not being really fully present in her skin.
Mm.
And she also confirmed that she had actually the lack of boundaries with people has been a struggle all her life.
Mm.
So, yeah, that was it.
Thank you,
Thanks, Julie.
Celine. Yeah.
It's neat to hear everything you worked on, Julie. Yeah, because we haven't had the opportunity to share with each other yet. So we hadn't planned that I would work on the lungs, but I had to work on the lungs. Like I was just drawn there. So I ended up putting like, after like clearing and cleansing, I was putting like, ball of white light to cleanse and to purify and tonify. And I also emitted chi into her like back, shoulder, and neck. She had actually mentioned, I realized after, that she had some pain up there, and it felt like it was actually connected to her lungs. We didn't quite have time, so I didn't even tell her that I did that. And then I worked on her heart and put a ball of like some self-love into her heart and the energy of rose into the ball. Because lung, heart, it felt like there was like connection there. And then this was a little bit unexpected, but then I was drawn to work on her like solar plexus intestine area. I was going to go right to her liver, but I worked there. And then as I was working there, I got this impression that the parasites, or the sticking of the parasites, were connected to like an old partnership. So I asked her if she'd had, partnership in her early 20s, early mid 20s, when she said she'd gotten the parasites, and she said she did. We talked about it later, and it was interesting because she was saying that with those partnerships, she should have like said no much earlier and, cut off the relationship, but she stayed. They like sounded like it was unhealthy for her. And then so we talked a little bit about the symbolism of the parasites coming in a lot. And that's how we got into this discussion around the lack of boundaries. And yeah. And so that's just like, something for her to like sit with. And yeah, it was just interesting to see that the interconnection with also the lungs. And yeah, and then I worked on the liver, and then I did the yin deficiency protocol for the kidneys.
Mm. Nice.
Very nice.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Thank you both.
We also mentioned, because she's an acupuncturist, so I told her how nice it was to work without needles. So I will get that commission as well.
We gotta set something up, John. We got a bunch
You
of
must get people from these clinics, Wendy, I was thinking.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Now
Hey, Ash.
we have Ash and Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah had to go, so she's
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
stuff to do. So we had a patient who was 47,
Mm.
it's a uterine myoma that it's been recommended to have surgery, but she's opted not to. And she's 47, so as we know and learned in class, like after menopause and perimenopause, that will likely diminish on its own. But it was diagnosed some time ago. And that's resulted in some heavy bleeding at times and some anemia. So we met briefly before talking with Inga, and they the idea was that Sarah was going to do a journey. She really was called to do a Chamber of Memories journey. And so while she was doing that, I was going to work on her and do, sort of in the gynecological protocols, like a kidney, like definitely clearing some stagnation, and then also a kidney strengthening. It felt like the right thing. So we started, and I began with the general protocol, and as soon as I was working, got to the abdomen, and I was like, it's not just a mass, there's an energy here. And we weren't talking at all, actually. Sarah and I weren't. But I was like, because I missed the class. I was, away for a family emergency, so I missed the class about the phantom embryo. And so I went back and I did watch it. But I was like, "Oh, I don't know if that's going to come up." And sure enough, I was like, I'm sure this is what's going on. And Sarah also picked up on the same thing. And so it was really beautiful to watch her in this chamber of memories journey, um, uh, walking our patient through that process. And then, I had done up to that point, I'd been, doing clearing, spent a lot of time on the liver and the spleen and just moving the channels. It just felt like there was a lot of stagnation. But as Sarah was doing the journey, there were moments where, the patient connected in with this spirit. And there were times where it was like, I can't do anything. Like I just really had to stand and hold space. It felt like at times, like it just wasn't time to be working on the body. It was kind of emotional. And so that was really interesting and unexpected. Because I kind of thought I'd be able to continue my work, but I really needed to just stop a couple of times. And then, when the patient would get hung up, I, would send healing, like blue healing light in, to support the kidneys when, talking about a little bit of fear and, just really, it was just interesting to follow the flow of what was happening rather than go in a specific order. I hope that was okay. But it was just, like
Oh,
stepping
yes, very much so.
to what needed to be done in the moment and, kind of watch this energy release, and the patient hadn't named the phantom embryo. And then, a little later she said that she wanted to, but we kind of already disconnected. And so then I decided, well, I'll bring in the tadpole and, try to bring, like reconnect a little bit that way. And so that was really cool. But it was just the sensation of just knowing that it wasn't just a mass, it was an energy it was so clear. And it's like it just feels like there was a movement there rather than just like a mass, like it was really palpable, very clear that that's what needed to happen. And then, the patient continued on talking a lot about the integration work that she's doing in her life, just as I was doing Chain of Pearls. And it just seemed like such a nice way for the treatment to kind of come together. This just like integrating, everything she said beautiful things about, letting this embryo go and how she's felt it's been there a long time and it's inspired her in a lot of ways and how to keep that inspiration with her. And so the whole thing was really a lot about just integrating that the entire process, of what, this is I think it was 10 years ago that this phantom embryo kind of appeared. So yeah, so it's really cool. And I did a lot of U sound, and clearing before I realized what the energy was there. I was doing U because it just felt really stuck. And I still think that was appropriate because there is a mass there. And I actually would do that and sometimes do something else and then come back and it just felt really natural and like the body was really accepting the U sound. So that was cool. And then I wish that Sarah was here to talk more about her experience, but she did a really great job. Seems like the journey sometimes can go, a number of different directions, and you kind of have to go with the flow there. So, I think as far as what I'm going to recommend, it does still feel like there's some stagnation for this patient. So I think going through the prescription sounds and maybe all of them, and then with an extra focus on Guo and you, and also, doing pulling down the heavens as a clearing. We can do it as a tonification or as a clearing. feels like the right thing to do. And so I have that made up on a handout. And she's a practitioner, so she specifically was like, I need someone to tell me on a piece of paper to do the guo sound with the hand motion. So that's on there because she really, sometimes we know what we're supposed to do, but we don't do it until someone else tells us. So that is specifically on there too. And then, I think that she needs to do some kind of integration work. And the first thing that came up was to do some alternate nostril breathing a couple of times a week, just as a way of, as she's, entering perimenopause and doing some integration work in her life, as a way to study the system, and then alternate that with then the tonification method of gathering qi in the upper and lower dantian. That's what I came up with so far. And I'm still thinking if there's one more thing I want to give her, but I haven't landed on it yet.
Okay. Well, that's beautiful. I know she was purring at the end of the sessions.
She was purring. That's funny.
That was fun.
Very nice.
Beautiful. Great
Thanks.
work.
Thanks, Ash.
Yeah, thank you.
And Sarah, on the video, thank you
Yes,
as well.
Sarah, great work. Yeah. Okay, I think we have
Jen
Rosa.
and Rosa.
Jen and Rosa, yes.
Let's see. Where's Jen? There she is.
Here. I got text messages from two of the participants, and one of them was like, okay, tell me about the program. I need to know about the program. Just saying. It's good. They had a great experience.
Oh, good.
Aw, great. Yay.
Do you want to start, Jen, or shall I start?
It doesn't matter. It's easy. I'm easy. Rosa, what do you think?
You start.
I'll start. Okay. So this was actually someone that Rosa knew from her gym, from her local gym. So she's 32 years of age and has irregular painful periods, has hormonal headaches, has had a lot of PMS symptoms. She's been on an IUD for the last 2 years. So we weren't really able to ask her much information about her cycle or the quality of blood or anything like that. But she wasn't she was open, but she had no idea what she was getting herself into. And so yeah, I think after a while we're a little bit careful. We decided to be careful how we were going to proceed. But the treatment was amazing, and Rosa and I had similar experiences with the three circles, the emotional, physical, and spiritual. And we both felt that she was just absolutely connected to the heavens. There's just so much energy going up. There's the heart going up. That was in the spiritual realm, but then underneath of this lifting light effervescence was just this heavy downward spiral of energy, which I felt into being ancestral pain that she was carrying around. So for the treatment, we both did the general protocol to begin with. And I guess for the most noteworthy thing there for me was working on the liver. Her liver, it just seemed the energy was boundless. It just was physical, emotional, spiritual. It was huge. But there was this little black, almost like a cocoon shape that I stayed with for a while till it opened to me and it showed me this image of her standing on a dock with her dad and her mom, and she was in this beautiful lake, and she was just a child, but her dad was really, really angry, and her mom was very, very meek. So it was showing me that, yeah, it was just showing me that the dad was very angry and overpowering, and maybe she was afraid. I'm not sure, but it was just an interesting vision that unfolded during that time. Yeah, I worked on her lungs. There's a lot of grief around her lungs and her heart. She's holding a lot of grief, even though she didn't ever acknowledge anger or being an angry person either. That was interesting. And then with the grief, she didn't acknowledge herself being a sad person either, although with her PMS, she does cry for a day before. But she said she's never angry, so that was interesting. And then what else? She was almost like doing the sonar as well. I got that she was almost she was separated into three different parts. So the top part, the head and the arms were just like light, heavenly. The center part was just this dense block of energy, and then the legs were quite weak. Um, and then at the end, I did the magic gloves at the end and worked on the spiritual level. And I've never, with all the treatments that I've done, I've never really been called to work this much in the spirit level. So my arms were like getting tired because they were like up here the whole time, and it was just clearing, clearing, clearing. Yeah, so I had a really great experience. It was lovely treating with Rosa. We were, sharing experiences back and forth, and then we were able to, yeah, I think give her a really nice treatment. Um, Afterwards, she said that her phone battery had died, and she didn't really know what we were doing or what to expect. So yeah, I had to, I don't know, reel it in a little bit, I felt like, so she wouldn't get too scared off. But I did offer to send her information on herbs she could take for her period. I gave her homework, what was it called now? Oh, just the dysmenorrhea homework with the descending the yang and ascending the yin, the breath work. And oh yeah, and then I did do the dysmenorrhea protocol on her during the treatment as well, and it just seemed to purge so much stuck energy. It was actually quite intense. So that's a little bit about my treatment with her.
Thanks, Jen. Uh, what else is there to say? I feel that she was extremely ill-equipped, and then at the same time, I really trust that there was a part of her that said yes to this. So, she signed up for it. You have to make an effort to do that. So I just trust that she got exactly what she came for. But it was a bit strange that at the end there was nothing she kind of recognized. I had a sense, like I thought earlier today, because I know her from the gym, I sent her a text and I said, "Are you okay with me being the one treating you? Because you might think it's too intimate." And she said, "No, no, that's fine." But I think she didn't know what she was getting. So I think if she had known, she might have actually minded, because I think she was not really ready to talk emotions, and I don't think she realized that that was part of it. Having said that, I really trust that part of her soul said yes to this, so that's what she came for. But it was a really, I like when I did the magic circles, I had this sense that I don't know her well at all. I just thought, for somebody that is not doesn't really come across as somebody very spiritual, she has a really big spiritual field. Like, she was really connected. There was a lot of light, and even during the treatment, that came up so, like funny enough, both Jen and me had this sense of a umbilical cord. We even used the same word for it, with her being connected from her heart to this. So that was really interesting. Um, I did the yin deficiency treatment, but I spent time doing that, but I spent a lot of time clearing her yellow cord. Like, I could have done that the whole treatment, basically. That's what it felt like. There was a lot of unrecognized emotions, grief, anger. Even, like, it was true at the start, we kind of asked, I kind of very carefully said, oftentimes, like, menstruation problems are linked to the liver, and that's linked to anger. Do you recognize that? And she said, "No, no, I'm not an angry person. I'm actually never angry." And I said, "Well, that could be a problem there." Like, so I kind of said, isn't it interesting how we kind of, you know, make a hierarchy in emotions, like that the anger is bad. But I was very careful, because in a way, I wasn't sure what she could hear. But treatment itself, yeah, it was really interesting. There was a lot of purging. There was a lot of light coming in, like especially when I had the magic gloves. Uh, there was so much light coming in that I actually turned off my light because I thought, oh, that must be my light. And I turned it off and it was still so bright. I was like, okay, so clearly it is that bright. Um, so yeah, it was beautiful and it was beautiful. And I love working together. And I also, we kind of asked, so shall we chat or not? But I think it's so nice to chat because because oftentimes we do these treatments alone and, it's so cool to do it together. I love it. So thank you, Jen.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah,
Eh, oh, thank you both.
very
Yes,
good.
it worked out.
Yeah, I think you handled it very well, Rose. I just want to say
Yeah.
because normally we really try to not put people with people that you know because of those situations. And she didn't have anything on her form. We had no way of knowing that. So that's why I was like, oh, shoot. But like you said, the divine works and it does what it needs to do. You got it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay.
Janet.
And Mav.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give the description if that's okay, Mav. So we had a 34-year-old woman who was having irregular menstruation for the last 2 months. And before that, it was pretty stable, but for the last few months, it was irregular and came and would come and go. And this has been going on for 2 years, but the last 2 months, it came on too early. Um, so it was really interesting, this treatment I had. When I did the magic circles, I was kind of sensing, I wasn't sure if there was a phantom or not. And then, so I thought, okay, I just really feel like I need to do a basic treatment. So while I was doing the treatment, I didn't really pick up on anything in terms of the phantom, but I think I kind of did at the end. So I'll ask you some questions about that. But so I did basic treatment protocol, and it was interesting. I was being called to the mother-child points. So I went to I was just going to read the what I had written down here. I went to lung 5 and 9, and I was just sitting on them, and one was balancing her ancestry, and the other one was balancing her own timeline. And then I went to kidney 1 and kidney 7, and balancing the connection to earth and connection to self. And then I really sensed this omnipresence energy around her. Like she has the ability to shapeshift around people. And also her palms were just so full of love. It was like, okay, I've never heard that before. I just have to tell her that. So it was kind of neat. And then Kuan Yin also showed up and began rebalancing her chi. And then I heard the words speak of ease and not dis-ease. And I'm like, is that for me? Is that for her? It's for all three of us. Like, is this for everyone? And then there were quite a few soul retrievals. So one at the heart to release grief, to connect her to the beauty of herself. And then this question came up when she was a young girl. What did she feel about the world? So Mother Mary was cleansing stagnant thoughts. And she said that, and also said that dreams would come more easily to her when she breathes into ease. At the throat, Kuan Yin was releasing what no longer serves her divine purpose. The connection to oneness was being seen, and she also, this is from Kuan Yin, was sharing that our patient was sharing from the depth of her being. And then started cleansing with the liver guo, and this is the homework assignment that they gave her. And then at this point, I went to kidney 1, 2, and 3, and there was a connection to ancestral history. And then at this point, I heard that her chi was very happy. So I went on to the spleen, and Kuan Yin was connecting her to her purpose in life. And I think at each of these points there was a soul retrieval. So at each of these organs, so remembrance of the sorrows that she has seen, they're going to leave her energy field very easily. And Kuan Yin said that belief is the key. And so when I went to her ovaries, Mother Mary was here and connecting her to the purity of white light, but I also heard the wet words left ectopic pregnancy.
Mm.
But I also had a really strong sense that it wasn't the time to go through that with her. So I just trusted and I just trusted that the soul retrieval was what she needed for today. And then there's lots of tonifying of the red, blue, and white. And at the end, when I was tonifying, I could just feel the chi going through her whole, like, mental, emotional, spiritual system, like the whole being, like the whole aura. And then at the end, there was another gift from Mother Mary, a blessing for her kidneys, protection for each, to sense into her own ancestry. To love from the heart is such a gift. You are being seen in divinity. And yeah, that was my treatment. And Mav?
We we can't hear you, Mav. I can't hear you. No, I see your lips moving, but we don't hear you. And Wendy, we don't hear you either because you're muted, but
I'm just saying, is it the headset?
yeah.
Sorry.
You might have to change it on your audio that you connect the headset.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, no.
How do I change it on the audio?
No, I
Yay!
hear
We
you.
hear you. You did it. Okay.
Weird. Okay. We were speaking to her beforehand, and when I did the magic circles last night, actually, I felt like quite a bit of grief and sadness in the chest, and I felt like, like I don't know, an uncomfortableness around the heart. And yeah, and just kind of like some repressed emotions. But in her spiritual field, wow, this person was she was incredible. She was a TCM practitioner. And she was, I don't know, I just felt this like ancient, like Chinese medicine doctor thing. Even before I really, put together that she was a TCM, but it was like a male energy in her. I don't know. There was just like and it was like vast, and she had so much light energy. It was like I was seeing a lot of color of yellow, and I was seeing that she was like, she had a very, very pure kind of energy. Um, and then when we met her, she was definitely she had those qualities as well. Yeah, she told us that she had gone recently through a heartbreak, and she was holding, and it was just February, so it wasn't that long ago where she felt it like kind of shift, but it was like going on for a while. So she had it in her physical body, and her main concern was basically that she was getting irregular periods, but it was starting to shift. So I was picking up then I needed to do some work on the lungs, the heart, well, the liver and the kidneys. I just pretty much said all of them. Um, but anyway, so I started with the general protocol, went into the yin deficiency treatment, because it has the very strong purging of the liver as well, and then the tonification. Um, and then I went a little bit rogue and did a bunch of other stuff. Like, so I ended up
doing magic gloves on her. I was doing a lot of different like moving the energies between the different points. Like I was moving it up the microcosmic orbit. I was going from the feet to the head, and then from the head to the feet. I was sending a lot of like blue light down. I actually also changed a couple of chakras. I did a chakra treatment. There was just the second one. Um, the second one it was the other ones I just cleaned, but the second one I actually changed. Um, and what else did I do? Um, yeah, I was also working with the energy of the water a lot. So basically, like speaking to the water, singing to the water, moving it, and just within the second chakra area. So I was really trying to get the water to start flowing, and everything kind of descending down, so everything can start moving for her. Um, yeah, and I was working with Baiza Jaguru, which is the Manasa Buddha. So that it was appeared with a lot of that mantra, just and a lot of blue light, and just trying to like, yeah, move stagnant heart and lung energy as well. But being very careful with the heart actually, because she was like, I don't know, I felt like we were in the presence of like greatness somehow, and I was just very careful not to like
Hmm.
mess with, I like, well, not that I was messing, but I was just very careful of what we were doing as well, because she knew she was pretty on point as well with what she was doing, what she was trying to, but she felt a little stuck. So because she didn't understand why her Menzies was, you know, irregular. So
Okay.
that's it.
Great. Thank
Great,
you.
great. Yes. Sounds good. Very good. Jennifer?
Gotta find them.
I see Jennifer. I'm gonna
You
bring in
can add
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Yep, there we go.
Okay. We had a 46-year-old female. Her chief complaint was really heavy menstruation. It's extremely heavy with dark black slimy clots. She was saying some of them could be like the size of her palm, and 3 to 4 fibroids. Her last period was 10 days long, and then a few days off, and then 10 more days. So really heavy. She's seeing an acupuncturist and an herbalist about this. I don't entirely agree with their pattern diagnosis. They seem to focus more on heart blood deficiency, and then there's definitely some spleen chi deficiency. But I thought there was some blood stasis as well that doesn't really seem to be being addressed. Um, Gallbladder involvement, she has frustration and disappointment, which she talked about a little bit later. And because of all this heavy bleeding, I think secondary, there's a lot of deficiency, all the organs basically very deficient. Um, Asking her a few more questions on the intake, there's definitely some heat. She has dryness, really dry skin, dry hair, dry mouth, which has all been very chronic. Um, no pain. The color of the blood when it happens, aside from those dark clots, is bright red. Her sleep is pretty terrible. She said she has a hard time staying asleep, no dreams. Her digestion, she said, is pretty awful. And it was really bad. She used to get migraines, so now she switched to a carnivore only diet, which she said helps with her constipation, but I think she needs to be eating some vegetables as well. But we didn't get too into that. Um, no phlegm. And then I wanted to touch more on the earth element with her. So I was asking her about the virtues, and this idea of trust and faith came up. Like she has no faith, no trust in the universe. And I could talk more about that later. Not a good relationship with her mother, and her tongue was pale purple, and the sides were pretty swollen. And I know Jen asked some more questions too, so I'll let her chime in.
Well, when I tuned in with the magic circles, I immediately got a lump in my throat, and like there was something, I don't know, there was some energy block in there, and I had a sensation that I was going in circles, and then on the energetic level, that lump kind of had a pulsation, like it was rapid fight or flight, and I felt like there was this I just this whole issue of wanting to hold and grasp and kind of like pull in, and that was just a sensation I was getting in there, and so I asked her about her endocrine system and if there was anything. And when I was tuning in, I was led up to the pituitary and some of the glands, and I didn't know if I was fishing or not, but for some reason that's what came in and presented to me, and she said no, and but then with the heat and the dry skin and all of that, I felt like there was something in there that she was hanging on to, and breath was another message that I kept receiving, is just bringing the breath in with that flow. I mean, as far as what I worked with her, there was a definite clear message about the parasympathetic, just bringing the calm into the body and relaxing. I did the basic protocol, but as soon as after the sending the light down the Tai Chi pole and then going up the channels from the feet just to get a kind of a glimpse, I was told to put on my magic gloves, and so I just let them lead. But where I went, it was just like I was in the gloves, and then I was told to do something, and then I went back to the gloves, and then I was told to do something else. But I went up in the head, and I did a lot of head clearing at first, and that's where I was told to begin, is just kind of to soothe the mind. Spent time in the heart. The liver was presenting red. I felt anger, and then the spleen felt small and dry. And so I really feel like there was this clenching, this pulling in and blocking of the flow. I did the master couple points on her, and the two that stood out were the conception vessel. It was flowing up until it got to the lungs, and it kind of just stopped, and then I almost started crying. I just had these tears, this emotion come through, and so we held those points and let the flow go again. And then the other one was the thrusting. I could barely even get started. I mean, it just stopped and it was just black. It was shadowy, and so anyway, worked on that as well. Did the chain of pearls, did a lot of regulating, and it just at the end where I was just making sure that everything was flowing as best they can. For me, when I shared some of this, and one of the things that I really felt was a important thing to practice was the breathing. It wasn't well received, and so then I went into this whole self-doubt. The verbiage sometimes, I have a hard time articulating the correct verbiage on what's happening, but I'm feeling it and I'm seeing it, and or even knowing. I really strongly believe that the breaths, and so that's going to be the homework that I'm going to write up, and I'm going to give her some different suggestions because she's already done one and it's never done anything to the physiology of what's going on, but it, you know, we're one part of the whole, and it's all part of it. So I'm going to stick with that.
Oh, go for it. Yes.
So anyway.
Yeah. Joel?
Yeah, Jen did a great job. She did a lot more than I did. I had all these plans. Before the treatment, I had this because she had a lot going on, and had been seeing an acupuncturist and herbalist for however long, and things seemed to be getting worse, not better. So I kind of intuitively thought maybe something happened to her when she was younger, like some kind of trauma. And then during the intake, she did slightly mention some sexual trauma, and I kind of felt inclined to lead more towards this, not soul retrieval, a guided journey, the advanced one.
Mhm.
And I think we hit on some stuff. It took longer than I thought. It was kind of hard to like suss information out of her, and I was trying to be gentle and not push at the same time. It was a really good experience for me to learn this because a lot of
Yeah.
times things just kind of answers just kind of come. So I had to kind of freestyle and try to get information out in different ways. But yeah, she had this like dark, heavy entity or whatever you want to call it around her uterus, and we explored with that. And then there was this, her imagery was she heard this like metal clinking and had these like, she specifically said male miners in there just like hammering away. So we explored that a little bit, and then um who she would be without that was this light free person. And the lesson that came up
Mm.
for her around this thing in there was this trust in the universe and God. And she has a lot of disappointment because things haven't been going her way. She
Mhm.
wanted to have a child her whole life essentially, and she hasn't yet, and it might not happen. She just broke up with someone after 13 years, and now she has to sell her house, and she has a lot of money issues. The song by Pink Floyd, Money, came up earlier, which I thought was kind of interesting with the clanking noise. Um, and so she has all this like, she just doesn't trust the universe. She feels left out or left behind, or
Right.
I forget the word she used. So when I was trying to say, like, are you ready to let this go? She said, yes, but there's this fear of disappointment. So I kind of flipped the switch and said more, are you ready to, like, are you ready for whatever the lesson is? Not, are you ready to let go? And then she was kind of like, yes, I am, and kind of
Mm.
embracing the lesson. Um, because yeah, there's a chance she might not have a child, or she might not have
Yeah.
the money that she used to have.
Yeah.
So then things really shifted after that. She saw this like vast ocean instead of this dark thing. But we explored more, we went deeper, and then long story short, she found this she said feminine, which again, like to me, there was this like obvious, like the minors were masculine, and then she found this feminine energy trapped inside this entity, which was like dancing around a maypole, long flowing hair, very carefree. So I had her bring that up and out, and then have it live in her heart. But I also had her bring this energy to her spleen as well, and like I forget when, during somewhere around here she was like crying. Before that she was like very uncomfortable. I saw her kept shifting and like kind
Mm.
of closing in, and then she was holding something back. Like I think Jennifer picked up on that too. And then she was crying, and then she let it go, and I think she appreciated that. When she let it go, I had her say thank you to it, and I could tell she was kind of surprised by that, but it was a big part of what she needed. So yeah, I think she was holding on to a lot, and like again, blood stasis, just holding on, all this
Mhm.
anger and frustration. So she's already doing qigong. I didn't want to give her too many things, so I told her to do the beating the bag when she's feeling frustrated, and then the microcosmic orbit to help movement, but also specifically in the lower dantian, just to really
Oh, yeah.
help
Right.
the movement so things don't just stick around.
There you go.
But yeah, it was great working with Jen. She did a really
Yeah.
good job, and I think
We
everything was pretty
and Joel
just-
talked about doing the water cycle and the fire cycle to do
Right.
it both ways, especially when with the heat.
Right.
Right.
Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah, she really said how much she enjoyed the session, how she felt she got a lot out of it. And you guys were great. So
Thanks.
thank you. You did great.
You.
Both of you. Yeah. Thank you. Really good. Okay. And Delphine and Anita. Okay.
Yes.
Here we go.
Delphine, would you like to start with explaining about this case?
I think
I
we're
need
both
support.
are we both exhausted? I'm like in 3 a.m. Vietnam time. Okay, I'll try my best. So our lady was 43. She was coming because of perimenopause and heavy bleeding. She was bleeding twice a month. She's on HRT, history of sexual abuse. And yeah, she wanted support to regulate and have better regulation with the periods, but she kept coming back. That's what she wrote in the form. But when we met her, I think she was still searching for help with the big stuff. And we both felt that we wouldn't go there directly because, yeah, from menstruation to sexual abuse, there's quite a lot of, it's quite a big gap. So we felt guided to, well, we obviously listened and heard what she needed, but then we said we would work intuitively and see what the guides and intuition guided us to do. And yeah, when I stepped into the circle, I completely forgot to tell her actually, but when I stepped into the circle, I felt like my right side of my body was completely collapsed. And at the very end, she said she had an accident when she was young on the right side. But when I stepped into the circle, I could feel my right side was very collapsed, but I also felt, I didn't tell her that because I never really know, especially in a one session type of situation, if I really want to go into that kind of information. But I actually felt like my right side was collapsed and my right eye was blind. And I felt like I was a pirate. And so I decided I was not going to elaborate on that. But this was what I saw, and my intuition, when I saw that, my intuition felt that this was either symbolical or an actual past life where there was an energy of a pirate and maybe inflicting some, I don't know how to word that in, how can I say that?
Harm?
Well, yes.
Inflicting harm? Yes. Okay.
And yeah, so, and that there was some karma here that needed to be worked out. So I didn't want to go there because that's not going to be helpful for someone in pain and with a lot of emotion and sexual abuse. But this is what I saw. And so from there, I was guided to play. I asked Anita if she was okay to work whilst I played the mantra of Kuan Yin. So for half an hour, whilst we were both healing, I played Om Mani Padme Hum. because I was guided to deal with what I'd seen in that way, to cleanse that imprint and possibly start to help unravel the deeper roots of our difficulties. And then, yes, on a more practical level, really worked with detoxifying. I think Wendy, she's worked with you, if I understood correctly, but I also felt that she had a lot of unfriendly energies around her. So I needed to.
This is after I've done a lot of work already.
Yeah, which
we were discussing that.
Yes.
Which is why I was slightly concerned. I was like,
yeah, no, it started off in a pretty crazy place. Okay.
Right, and I was like, okay, so I just decided we're gonna have the Om Mani Padme Hum, and like I called in all the support and I said, please, can we kind of do something here because it's pretty intense. Yeah, and so I once I managed to organize that aspect, I worked on with releasing toxicity. There was a lot of poisoning energy as well in the system that I felt. And yes, then went to more practical, work. I did a lot of work detoxifying the gallbladder, the liver meridians, like all the purification. But on the womb, again, I just invoked for a lot of help to clear what was there. So yeah. But it did shift, like something, I felt like a layer of the darkness moved. And I was really invoking strongly. It's like, help. Because there was definitely a lot going on in there. But it did feel at the end, Anita, you'll share, I'm sure right now, but I did feel at the end our spirit came back. Like there was a little bit of light back, in essence.
Yes, nice.
Yeah. And from my side, it was a lot of deep purging. Like most of the time, it was just purging. I was guided straight to the throat, to the lungs. And she actually, in her sharings, she was mentioning a couple of times about expression, and I was like, where is she going? Like it's like as if she was skipping a step of the digestion before expressing. And it kind of brought a lot of realization to her, to just be with what is. And I felt like her harshness a little bit of how she expects things to be, and to the sexual abuse, and basically cutting herself off from life by choosing on one side not to have children and have the ovaries separated, on another side the accident, and her cutting off from the art, the way she was expressing herself. So it was a lot of layers of being cut off from life. And I was guided to bring back the energy of the ovaries with some spirals there, and I gave her that as a prescription. And actually, that I felt as a big breakthrough, because she was like, you know what? I actually do this when I'm in my bathtub, and I just place my hands in Shakti Mudra, and I'm just holding my hands there. So she basically remembered what it is to be back and connected to her power, to her own power of knowing what is best for her. And this is where I felt, and we both felt, that she started, coming back to life. And there was some brightness and lightness, and she was very receptive to the prescriptions. And a big portion of purging and harmonizing her. And I think she left a bit lighter. And that's pretty much it.
Great. Well, thank
And you were
you.
very synced with Delphine. It was full trust. And Also knowing that we are taking care of different parts, we don't have to go over everything. That felt really special because you can stay in one place and really go deep there. Yeah. Thank you, Delphine.
Great.
You both.
Yeah, thank you both. Thank you for great healings, and thank you all for these great healings that you've put out. So wonderful, great shares, really powerful. Okay, so those of you in the second year, your exam is delivered. If you don't have it there in your email box, in your inbox, let me know. It only has like, I don't know, 25 or 26 questions. It's not a,
23, you said.
how many?
You said 23.
Oh, 23. Yeah, it's not a long exam. So you should be able to do that and get it back when you're ready. Would be appreciated. So it can get marked, sooner than later. So,
Just
yeah.
checking. I take it I don't have to do it tonight, right?
Well,
Oh,
you
not
can do it.
tonight. You can do it tomorrow.
You
You
can do
have
it tomorrow morning.
you can do
Yes,
it tomorrow
Perfect. Thank
morning. You're in
you. I
Europe.
think I will be perform better tomorrow morning.
well, it says 8:45 a.m., I think, is what I
15
have
minutes
on there.
before class starts tomorrow,
I
whenever
think
that is for you.
yeah, 8:45 a.m. Pacific. So yeah, so you got lots of time. You got all day tomorrow to do it. And people on this side of the water have, lots of time
This
to take care of
afternoon,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's graduation for some people tomorrow. So
Yeah.
if anything you want to share with the group for your graduation also to remember that. Okay, great. And I guess that's it, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Oh, just one question. Did
Yes.
you have to do something from yesterday as well for
Yes, I had asked you
Right. Oh,
to
yeah.
complete Judge Your Neighbor worksheet.
Yeah. Do that.
Okay.
Find
Yep.
someone you have a issue with.
Even if you think you've forgiven them, but you're a little bit annoyed.
Mm.
And those who are in the first year, you will not have an exam in your mailbox
Right.
because that's only for second year.
It's only for second year, so you'll
And
get
we're
it next year.
we're
You'll
meeting
get
at
it next year.
8:35. We're not meeting at 9. We're meeting at 8:45 tomorrow.
No,
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 that's
that's
when
what I
the
want. The
exams due.
exam needs to be in by
Oh,
8:45.
oh,
Returned,
okay.
emailed back. Okay. And class starts at 9, yes.
Yeah.
We wanted a little 15 minutes heads up just to see that they were all there.
Right.
Yeah. Melanie?
Yeah, I'm just don't have the email. I'm just wondering, you said you sent it out already?
Because you're only a
You're
first
not,
year student. You don't get an exam. Only for people
Oh,
that have done the whole therapist. You get that next year when you've completed the last two seminars. You
I'm
haven't
doing
done
masters
seminars
in
5 and
June.
8 yet.
Okay.
yes, this had to be your second year in therapist, not second
Okay.
seminar, second year, fourth seminar.
You have to have completed
You have
all four
to,
seminars.
you have to have done, yeah, 5, 6, 7, and 8 to get the
But I still
exam.
go to Vancouver, just curious, in June, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes,
But you don't
exactly.
graduate masters in June.
You don't, yeah,
Oh, so I still have more to do next year.
yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Next
Okay.
year you got to
Sorry.
do 5 and 8
8 and
and
10 and, oh, wait,
9,
9 and
9 and 11.
9 and 11, right.
5, 8, 9, 11.
Oh,
And then you're done.
okay.
Then you'll be done.
All right. Thank
Yep.
you for that
There's
clarification.
there's 12 seminars. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. 12 altogether. Okay, folks. Okay. Oh, we're gonna do a closing. I guess we will.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting for a closing. It's like kind of not here. So I guess I'm here. Okay.
All
Go
right,
get
everybody, good
a
stand up.
gallery. Oof. Okay. Oh yeah, here we are. funny. It's like, what are we waiting for? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's breathe in from the earth. Bring that up through the feet. Bring your hands out and smile up to the heavens and inviting some beautiful, nourishing physical energy coming down and filling you up after that great session that you did. And again, breathing in from the earth, reaching up to the heavens and smiling, receiving beautiful vitality and life force, and invite that in to flow through your body. Wonderful energy flow and movement. And then again, earth, and invite in beautiful divine energy and light, and bring that down to bring peace and harmony and well-being. Bring your hands out, feeling gratitude for life and for all the magic that we get to play with. It's like, it's a magical world. And you're learning the magic, and you're getting into it, and you're practicing it, and just feeling so wonderful. What a great joy that is, that joy in your heart, and having fun and playing together in this class, and then bringing your hands back in and appreciating yourself for being here and for playing with the group, and sending our light out into the world and asking for a beautiful blessing of love and peace for all beings. And thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much for all the awesome organization, and thank you.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you like much better, Wendy.
Yeah, and I'm just so grateful for the person who was like, who showed up in the last minute.
Yeah, right.
Who was on the end when I said, will she actually be there if I call? It's like, oh my God, she's there. Will she want a treatment? Yes.
Oh, meant to be, meant to
Oh my
be.